Hey, hello, beautiful people. How you're doing today? It is back again. Jay is back again with another day. It's a beautiful day here. How you're doing? I hope you're having a great time. Anyway, today I'm gonna be talking about Nigeria precisely. You know, Nigeria is a country in Africa. I know a lot of people does not really know that Africa is a continent, and in that continent there are 54 countries. So Nigeria happened to be one of the 54 countries in Africa and the most populated black people on earth. Nigeria is over 220 million people. Yeah. I think Nigeria is the third biggest country, population wise though, the third biggest country on earth. I think there's the Chinese, there's Indian, there's United States, and then there's Nigeria. Nigeria is either number four or number five, the most populated nation on earth, and the most populated black people on earth at all, everywhere you can talk about. Yeah, 220 million people, and the size landmark of Nigeria in Canada is just within two provinces. Yeah, it's just within two provinces. If you go to Nigeria, you're literally going to be seeing people in the millions walking down the street in numbers, millions, congested, tight. A lot of people are jobless. A country where about 60% of the population are jobless, and about 70% of the population are between the age of 0 to about 30 years old or so, like that. Jobless society. Jobless. People are graduate, but they can't find jobs. The jobs will be available, like 10 jobs will be available for like 2 million people to apply for. And guess what? The politician will have 8 of that job given to their family members or relative, and the other 2 positions will be given to the rest 2 million people to compete with. Yeah? So that is why you see that people are jobless, people are poor in Nigeria, there's no job opportunity, there's nothing whatsoever. And guess what it is? The pastors will be telling people, pray, pray. It's your uncle in the village, it's your aunt in the village. She's the witch or wizard. They're the one affecting your progress. But then people refuse to ask them, how could you say that? When there are no jobs opportunity, when the government have not created job, there are no infrastructure, there are nothing at all that can give job to people. And now you're telling them to pray. But anyway, I want you all to stay tuned and watch this TV that I'm going to attach here. Kudos to the Arise TV, complimented Arise TV. Arise TV made an interview with a guy, the former Zamfara state governor, who wants to be a Senate president for the 10th National Assembly of Nigeria. This guy, when he was the governor of his state, as a matter of fact, Zamfara state happened to be one of the poorest states in Nigeria. Okay, one of the poorest states in Nigeria. And you all can believe this governor, I think it must be his colleague, his friend, or family relative, or somehow. The person was launching a book. He went there and donated about 900,000 US dollars, which is about 300 million naira Nigerian currency. It's about 900,000 US dollars just to donate to support the individual who is writing a book. But guess what it is? It's all corruption. At the end of the day, he's going to write that the government of Zamfara State supported that individual, so that at the end of the yearly budget, they're going to go take that, like a credit. But however, they're going to have a compliment, like an agreement with that individual who them supported with such amount of money. They're going to go back and take about 50 or 60% of that money back from him in cash, whereas the government has already said they gave him the money to support the launching of his book. And this is a state in Nigeria that the citizens are poor, literally. Kids are begging around the street with a plate in the morning, walking around the street and, please give us alms, please support us, please, we're poor. Yeah. And the governor in that state is giving somebody, of course, a close pad, friend, relative, as the person to launch a book. Guess what it is? The book does not even have a meaning for the life and citizen and the thing that's going to better the people's life. He gave $900,000 to support, which is like 300 million thousand naira Nigerian currency. You won't believe that. And these people, they are not remorseful at all for whatever they have done or what they're doing. This man have a guts to say that he wants to be the Senate president. He started going around to campaign. And he even went on the national TV in Nigeria, Arise TV. Kudos to Arise TV. Kudos to Husseini. And he was interviewed. And they were asking him questions. You can see him. He was not even remorseful. He was like, so what? What? Yeah, if I did, that's what. I'm not the first governor, and I'm not gonna be the last. I just supported an individual who needed support, blah blah blah. But the guy's like, yeah, but your state is poor. There are poor people living in your state that needed that money. Why didn't you support them? He's like, well, so how would that in any shape or form stop my candidacy for being the Senate President of Nigeria? He was upset. You can see his eye. But anyway, I'm going to attach that link right now. Watch it, and I'll be right back. Stay tuned, please.
Assembly, but the same National Assembly.
I get that.
So I think it's a done deal.
I get that, Senator Yari. You want to be Senate President, but you were governor of Zamfara State. Yeah. That is still part of the poorest states in this country. 92% poverty. Those are the numbers coming out of Zamfara State. One of the highest as regards people impoverished in this country. Little or no, very little minimal development. But you are a man that lives in a lot of affluence and wealth. Even recently at a book launch, you gave 250 or close to 300 million naira to somebody at a book launch. A lot of people are saying, why didn't you spend a lot of effort in fixing your state and at least improving the poverty prospect when you were there? And what qualifies you now to want to be the Senate President?
What does Zamfara State have to do with the Senate President?
Your hitherto record.
And this one you are talking about.
That's what it is. Your record. Your record.
Excuse me. What does that? Excuse me.
Mr. Yari, that's the record you'll be judged by. That's the record you'll be judged by. That's your record.
Excuse me. What does that happen? Before me, how many governors governed Zamfara State?
So what did you do to change it?
Am I the first governor in Zamfara State?
So what did you do to change it in your time? Because that's your record.
I'm not. I'm not. It's a record that I'm a governor, yes? And I have done my best when I'm there. And
oh yeah. Did you all hear him? Did you all hear what he was saying? And how upset and anger he was just by asking him the question, like, hey, Mr. Hussaini, you were a governor of Zamfara State. You did this and blah, blah, blah. You gave somebody almost $900 million just for a book launch. And you come from a state that the citizens are poor. You couldn't do nothing. And now you want to be a Senate president. Also, he's going around to share money. Of course, that's what they do. They bribe people. They bribe people. They made people become poor so that they can give you pennies, and then you accept the pennies and you have no choice but to give them the mandate. Okay? You all can see. Those are the leaders that we have in Africa. Okay? Nigeria is blessed with mineral resources, diamond, gold, everything. Mention it. But guess what? Nigeria is considered as a third world country. Nigeria is poor. Few individuals, few pocket of individuals are the one in charge of the resources of Nigeria. You've got to belong to some certain family, some gapa, some group of people, some elite people. Otherwise, you will not be recognized, or you will never get anything you want to seek for in Nigeria. Nigeria is blessed. Okay? Nigeria is supposed to be a democratic country, yeah? Every 4 years, they're supposed to have election to elect leaders for various positions. So just in February, election was conducted to elect the next president of Nigeria. And guess what it is, guy? Election was done, rules were violated, ballot boxes were snatched and taken away by some group of individuals who claim to be the leading party. They break their own rules and regulations. They violate the violation of Nigeria Constitution regarding the election. Election was not counted. They came up with something called VI something, where they can accreditate votes and the vote will be published online for people to see. But guess what? Beaver. But guess what? It was not done. There is what they call INEC, INEC, INEC. That is an independent National Electoral Commission, INEC. Okay? INEC that is supposed to be an antibody without affiliating to any political party, but of course it's not true. Okay? The current president of Nigeria appointed the national chairman of INEC. Of course, he's going to dance to his tune. Yeah, they went ahead and announced election results that was not conducted 4 a.m. in the morning and selected an individual who is called Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Here is Bola Ahmed Tinubu. I'm going to attach his picture here. Here is the man that I'm talking about right now, Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
Last man standing.
It's still standing.
It's still standing. Last man standing. Say, how come to be aware the same thing? Is that you?
Yes, so that is the man that has just been selected. He didn't win. Oh yeah, you hear what he's saying? The last man standing. The other guy was congratulating him. Of course, they are the same people. He's like the last man standing. Yeah, the last man standing. He's literally shaking and walking and almost falling down, and he claimed to be the last man standing. He didn't win. Should in case you're in the world, okay, watching, because he's supposed to be sworn in on the 29th, which is going to be on Monday. He's supposed to be sworn in on the 29th. He didn't win. And do you all know that that same man that had just been selected as the newly Nigerian president, he was being selected. He was not being elected. That same man back in the 80s, he had a criminal case in the United States of drug trafficking. Yeah? A drug baron. He forfeited 460,000 US dollar back in the 80s for United States in order for him to avoid going to jail. And then he went to Nigeria, and then between 1999, 2003 and so, he became a governor of Lagos State in Nigeria, one of the biggest mega states in Nigeria. He became the governor. And he literally turned the treasury of that state money into his own personal, and that's how this man became rich. He's a multi-millionaire. You all can see him. When we were growing up, we were being told, even up to now, the youth are the future of the generation. We are the leaders of tomorrow. In Africa, it's a lie. In Africa, men of 60 and 70 and above are just beginning life. You all can believe men of 60 years in Africa, they contesting to be a counselor. Yeah? If you look at the world today, the whole world leaders today, they're in the early 40s and 50s, excluding the United States, who appointed an old man, an ancestor, Joe Biden, who is going to leave pretty soon. Yeah? Except the United States. Every other Western country, look at the France, look at Canada, where I am now, look at all the world leaders, look at Germany, look at Great Britain. They have just elected an immigrant, okay? First generation of immigrant from Pakistan had just become the Prime Minister of UK. So they're within the 40s and 50s. It's only in Africa you gotta be 60s and 70s and above. You all can see the man that had just been selected as the president of Nigeria. This man claimed he's 70 years old, but realistically, this man is over 80 years old. He's shaking when he's walking, like he can't even stand. He can't even stand on his feet. When he's talking, he's stammering, like his speeches are not even clear. That is Africa for you. These are the ones that make Africa to be what it is today. Few of those individuals have the treasury of Nigeria. Nigeria is blessed and rich. But few of them have the whole treasure of Nigeria into their pocket. Few individuals. Okay, that same man that has just been selected as a president of Nigeria, his 37 years old son in the United States had just bought a mansion of about $11 million worth mansion in the UK. The guy has never worked. 37 years old, he's jobless, he has never worked. Tell me where he's getting money from. That he went to the UK and bought a mansion of $37 million worth. He's never worked. Then went to the best school, attended the best school because, the parents are rich. Not rich because they are rich, they were hard worker. They're rich because they are drug dealers. They're rich because they're smuggler. They are rich because they stole from people. They're rich because they're corrupt. Those are the people that makes Africa to be what it is today. And International Monetary Fund, IMF, keep giving loan to Africa. You can't believe the current president of Nigeria, who's been there for 8 years, his last day is going to be May 29. He's leaving on Monday. This man had just applied for about $80 million from the IMF. and the IMF have granted a loan. A guy that is leaving the office within 3-4 days, why is the IMF giving him money? Of course, the IMF is working with our world leader, our African leaders. A lot of our African leaders, they are the gatekeeper of the Westerners. Because the IMF gave him that money, of course, the money is not going to be used for nothing. They're going to share it within their cabals. Yeah, Nigeria as a country is owing right now about $11 trillion. 11 trillion Nigerian currency. Okay, 11 trillion Nigerian currency. If you're looking at in the dollar, it's over $1 billion or $2 billion or $3 billion that Nigeria is owing as a country. But guess what? Nigeria is blessed. And in that same country, Nigeria, a man called Alanji Dangote is the richest African man, the richest black man in Africa. He had just built, okay, a private refinery in Nigeria. But we all know that money is not his money. It's the money from the cabals, just like they invested to support him. So he's going to be the chairman. Okay, it's like a future investment for them. All the governors, all the past presidents, they've stolen money, about $18 billion worth of a private refinery. That money was given to him in cash. But you're claiming Dangote, Dangote, Dangote. Yes, the name Nigeria, it's we, the younger generation, that are keeping that name. We are the one doing everything in the world that the world is seeing today. Our leaders are not giving a good impact to Nigeria as a whole. They are all corrupt, they are thieves, they are corrupt people, they are incompetent. In Nigeria today, 60 and 70 years men are still fighting for a political chairmanship, for a councillor. You can believe that. If 60 and 70 years old men are still contesting to be councillor in Nigeria, so where do you think we, the younger people in our 40s and even before 50, where do you think we stand? We're still just on the queue, waiting. Waiting. Basically, that is what it is. But anyway, this is where I'm going to throw in the curtain. Thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for watching. Without you all today, I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing. I want to say big up to you for keep watching and share and like and subscribe, please. More subscriber, and I need more watch time. Thank you so much, and stay tuned and big up. Have a good weekend. Bye.